We have multiple New York Knicks updates, and this is going to have huge implications on the New York Knicks moving forwards, as both Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson have received updates from Ian Begley, Knicks insider, and obviously having them against the Cleveland Cavaliers definitely would have led to a closer game while fans are calling for Tom Thibodeau's job once again, and we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And if you guys are part of that 69% watching and you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe. This is the place to be for all Knicks news, all Knicks rumors, injury reports like this video, and a lot more as well. But let's jump into the video, guys, because the New York Knicks, obviously, they are missing some players. I mean, none more important than Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson, as both of these two are just vital players who definitely impact winning on a super high level. We know that to be a fact about Josh Hart. I mean, Jalen Brunson said it, Tom Thibodeau says it, Josh Hart knows it, everyone knows it. It's not a secret that Josh Hart has a massive impact on winning basketball games. Meanwhile, Mitchell Robinson, who is getting closer and closer, is making fans more eager to come back because the Knicks clearly need Mitchell Robinson once the playoffs come around, or they are going to be in deep trouble very quickly. So obviously, all of this is cultivated in everyone waiting to see when these guys will get back. And we're going to start off with the guy who we talk about a lot with injuries in Mitchell Robinson, as Ian Begley revealed that he does not think fans will be seeing Mitchell Robinson playing against the Boston Celtics on Sunday. Which, the reason that this is news is because it was revealed by Tom Thibodeau yesterday that Mitchell Robinson is effectively day-to-day. He's no longer some long-term injury concern. Tibbs himself spoke out and said that Mitchell Robinson is day-to-day on injuries, essentially. He's doing everything in practice. It's just like if he was healthy. They're just now ramping things up, making sure his conditioning's good, making sure that he understands the schemes and the setups and all that, specifically going into that ice coverage, and on top of that, knowing when to drop, just making sure he's getting acclimated back into the 5-on-5 NBA game before he gets things truly rolling. I'd imagine that on the 26th against the 76ers, we'll see Mitchell Robinson, so that's one more game without him, and then we'll see him. That's what our moderator on our live streams, Charlie Knicks, said, and we're going to take that because it does make some sense. The Knicks want to get Mitchell Robinson out there before that March 1st day, just because they do, honestly. They just want to get him back at some point soon. So I'd imagine this is the final game we'll see Mitchell Robinson miss with the initial injury. Obviously, he won't be playing back-to-backs, and he'll be on a minutes restriction, but he will be getting back into normal shape, and we'll see his first appearance most likely against the Philadelphia 76ers, or at least that's what it feels like. Now, Mitchell Robinson, obviously a very important player to this team. Career 8-8 guy. Last season put up 5.5 points and 8.5 rebounds per game, but those numbers were higher before he went down with an injury and came back not fully healthy and coming off the bench for Isaiah Hartenstein. Now Mitchell Robinson would likely still be coming off the bench, at least during the regular season, but don't look at his stats too closely for when he comes back. He's got to obviously readjust. It's tough as a big man coming back off these foot injuries. So hopefully by the playoffs is when we'll see Mitch's true 100% impact. But I do fully believe that the second Mitch is out there, there just is going to be a difference. Mitch has lost 40 pounds. He's 266 pounds now. He already said it's the high-flying Mitch. He's coming back. And it's obviously a great sign. The Knicks need that rim protection very, very badly. The real problem with the New York Knicks, if we're being honest, is that it's what we all feared when we traded for Karl Anthony Towns. The rim protection is just non-existent. It's not bad, it's non-existent. He does not protect the rim whatsoever. Players drive at him with zero fear. Big men can score on him. Towns is weirdly all right at perimeter defense, but that low block defense is just really, really poor, and it's the one real weakness in his game. I mean, he's an unstoppable offensive player, and his perimeter defense has been solid, but that low post defense, I mean, people just drive at him with no fear, and he just cannot do anything to stop it. The Knicks need to find a way to hide Karl Anthony Towns on defense ahead of the playoffs, and Mitchell Robinson is the answer to that problem. Obviously, you could still work switches and stuff for sure, but the Knicks will definitely scheme it up. Tom Thibodeau is a good defensive coach. There's no way around it. People are going to argue with that, but he is a good defensive coach, and the New York Knicks definitely will be able to figure this out. So it's just a matter of getting Mitchell Robinson back on the team. Outside of that, we also have the other New York Knick to discuss who also got injured, and that is Josh Hart. Josh Hart is down with a knee injury. It's effectively knee tendonitis. You can call it whatever you want. There's a much longer, more complicated medical name for it. It's knee soreness that's brought up by overwork and overuse. It's just what it is. And Brian Suterer, the doctor who became very famous with Knicks fans. He's a YouTuber. Go check out his YouTube channel. Really, really awesome guy. Really fun to watch his videos because you actually do learn stuff, and that's cool when you learn stuff on YouTube. But he was the guy who kind of diagnosed Jalen Brunson with drop foot, which is exactly what it ended up being when we all thought Jalen Brunson's knee or Achilles exploded when he had that non-contact thing. It actually did cause some contact, hit the nerve, and he had the drop foot thing, and that was correctly pointed out by Brian Suterer, who also said there's no reason to worry about Josh Hart's knee injury, as it's just more something that he's going to have to be able to manage, but he obviously will be able to, and once he rests it, it will get better pretty quickly. So the Knicks are resting Josh Hart, essentially. Could Josh Hart play? Yes. If this were the playoffs, would Josh Hart be playing? Yeah, he'd be playing 40-some-odd minutes, and yeah, his knee would hurt, but it's not done for. It's not like his knee is completely cooked or anything, so it's not really something that Knicks fans should be too worried about in the long term. I actually like that Josh Hart's sitting out. I think it's meaning that he's getting well-deserved rest. So I understand Josh Hart does not like it. I understand the minutes police thing is a very accurate gripe to have, especially as a player, but as a fan as well, if you're anti that. Sorry. But honestly, I don't mind Josh Hart getting a little bit of rest, being a little bit fresher come the playoffs. It's not going to hurt him. So I don't mind at all. Now, taking a look at what Ian Begley said about Josh Hart, he said, with regards to Hart, they have ruled him out immediately on these injury reports that come out the day before the games. So both the Bulls and the Cavs, who was ruled out the day prior. That tells you something about the severity of the injury. He did practice last week, but then had to miss one with the knee soreness. And if he is listed as questionable for Sunday against the Celtics, then maybe there's a chance he plays. So obviously, Begley just does not think that Josh Hart's playing, or at least that's what it sounds like. Maybe that opinion will change. But as of right now, it appears that Ian Begley does not believe Josh Hart will be playing, and that sounds correct. I mean, look, the Knicks play the Celtics without Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson. They're gonna lose. Like, they're just going to lose. Are we gonna pretend they're not? Like, I get it. They still have great players. They still have two all-star starters in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. They have OG, who's great and will be a little bit more warmed up coming back from that foot injury. You have McHale, who has struggled mightily against the Celtics this season. Josh Hart, you need him there against the Celtics. You need Mitchell Robinson there against the Celtics. The Knicks won't have him, and they'll lose, essentially. Let's be real. That's what's going to happen. I'm not saying the Knicks can't beat the Celtics. I'm saying the Knicks can't beat the Celtics when the Knicks are dealing with injuries. The Celtics are healthy. And better. The Knicks are not healthy. And worse. So, it is this situation where if you don't have Josh Hart, you're just going to be in trouble. We saw the Knicks struggle mightily against the Chicago Bulls along with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, when the Knicks played the Cavs last night, everyone did end up getting in, except for Tyler Kolek, who might be dealing with a little bit of soreness. It says it's a coach's decision, but I believe he is dealing with a little bit of a tweak, not like an injury. But we saw everyone play, but the guys who really have been getting minutes off the bench with Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson out have been Ariel Hukporty, Cameron Payne, and Deuce McBride. Now, Landry Shamet's also been in and out of the rotation, and Shamet's had some bright spots, but also some not-so-bright spots. I mean, the shooting has been very not good this season. His defense has been a nice surprise, but Shamet just has not been the exact player the New York Knicks were hoping for. Meanwhile, guys like Cameron Payne and Ariel Hukporty and Deuce McBride, I mean, they're solid. Hukporty looks like he's getting a lot better very quickly. Cameron Payne he's Cameron Payne. He's hot or cold. It never really changes with him. It's one or the other. He won't be getting a ton of minutes in the playoffs, and I think fans are starting to get worried because Payne has been cold recently. But it's not like he's going to play big minutes. I think at most he'll play 8 minutes per game in the playoffs just to give Brunson some rest, and he'll be the point guard for the 8 minutes that Jalen Brunson's not playing in games. So outside of that, I don't think we'll see a ton of Cameron Payne, and so I think we'll see, if everyone's healthy, we'll see Mitchell Robinson off the bench, unless it's a series where Mitch should be starting, like say the Knicks did run into the Cavs, meaning they made the Eastern Conference Finals, which would be nice. Then Mitch would start, but if they're playing a smaller team, Josh Hart will still start, and they'll throw the same starting five that's been out there all year, and probably off the bench you'll see Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride the most, and then more limited minutes, probably Precious Achiuwa and Cameron Payne as well. That's my guess on the matter, so you could always have rim protection, or basically always have rim protection in with having both Mitch and Precious out there. Precious is a very good defender. Mitchell Robinson is an elite defender. Karl-Anthony Towns is a bad defender, so they're going to want to stick one of those guys out there with Towns as much as possible, but again, it all depends on matchups. There's a world where they just start Mitch so they could have that rim protection in there. And look, the Cleveland Cavaliers bodied the Knicks. There's no way around it. I'm not going to lie and pretend like they didn't. The Knicks got cooked. There's that guy who's a Cavs fan who's in our comments a good amount trashing us. Well, take your victory lap. Feel free to make fun of me, make fun of us. Go for it. You guys got us. Look, the Cavs are good this year. And, I mean, picking up Javonte Green's a real bummer for us. And they're just a good team. There's not much else to say on them. They're just very good. They're very good defensively. They hit their threes well. And the Knicks, without Mitchell Robinson, I mean, they just saw Jared Allen have a great game. They saw Evan Mobley look like an all-star. And, I mean, it's just... when Mitchell Robinson was there playing against them, he just bodies them. The Knicks desperately are going to need him. Or this is going to be a recurring theme that any team with talented big men are just going to run the score up on the Knicks. Meanwhile, this team has two talented big men, and when Evan Mobley's able to score, when there's not a rim protector like Mitchell Robinson and they're stopping Evan Mobley and making his life hell, things get weird because you could have that multiple level scoring with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland as well, not to mention Max Strus and DeAndre Hunter also being able to hit their threes. It just makes the Cavs more versatile when they're playing a team without rim protection. So the Knicks desperately need to have Mitchell Robinson back, or they'll have no chance against the Cleveland Cavaliers whatsoever. On top of that, they could use Josh Hart as well because, as we all know, Josh Hart just has a major, major impact on winning. Everyone knows it. It's been highlighted by basically everyone. Josh Hart this season is awesome. 15 points per game, nearly 10 rebounds, putting up nearly 6 assists as well, getting 1.5 steals, shooting 55% from the field and 34% from three. Josh Hart is the Swiss Army knife of all Swiss Army knives. He's the heart of the Knicks, as we all know. He's just really, really hard to not love. And Thibodeau, who spoke out on Josh Hart's injury, said, "It's soreness. I think that's part of our league. Players have soreness, and how do you deal with it, and what's the best course of action to move forwards?" So you trust the player, you trust the medical, and the medical weighs heavily on these decisions, which is absolutely right. Everyone deals with soreness when you're playing in the NBA, especially when you're playing every game like Josh Hart did. You're going to have random soreness and stuff because you're playing a lot of professional sports. Jalen Brunson also said, I mean, obviously, he's, no pun intended, he's the heart of our team. Really, we can't just say, oh, we don't have him tonight, let's chalk it up as an L. That's not how stuff should go. But clearly, last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, it did. And I imagine with Josh Hart out and Mitchell Robinson out against the Celtics, we're going to see the Knicks lose again. Look, it's the first year of a contending team. I'm not that worried, but I'm definitely starting to get a little bit of fear going, but I'm not that phased. I do think the Knicks, healthy against the Cavs, could easily beat them in a playoff series. I still don't think the Cavs are a team that's going to work well in the playoffs. Just their lack of spacing, I think, will evidently be the death of them. But we'll wait and see till that. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe, like this video, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.